Today is the last voting day for Texas, but it's not the only vote happening.
State band competitions are here, and one band was determined to compete, train, or shine.
And don't miss this year's biggest supermoon happening this week. Stay with us.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is NTTV News at Noon.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining NTTV News at Noon. I'm Caleb Quisenberry.
And I'm Taylor Reed.
Today officially marks the last day for voting in Texas, but marks the first day for several other states across the country.
Our reporter, Majay Moore, is live with us to kick things off and tell us more. Majay?
All right, y'all. Today is the day Texans across the state have begun voting early this morning. There are 17 propositions that I will cover briefly for y'all so y'all have an idea of what's going on. So, for Proposition 1, it would create an $850 million endowment for the Texas college system in 11 of its campuses. Proposition 2 deals with capital gains tax. Currently, there is no capital gains tax in Texas, so this proposition would set a permanent ban from taxing individuals on assets like real estate and investments. Proposition 3 deals with bail. It will allow judges to deny bail on felonies like murder, aggravated assault, and child indecency. Proposition 4 deals with water infrastructure and its funding. Proposition 5 provides a tax cut on animal feed. Proposition 6 bans the state from taxing security transactions and participants, for example, buying or selling stocks and bonds or financial institutions. Proposition 7 is a tax exemption for the widows of veterans who died from service-related conditions or disease. Proposition 8 would stop lawmakers from imposing death taxes on things like inheritances or estates. Currently, Texas doesn't have any such tax, so this would prevent it from being imposed in the future. Proposition 9 is another tax exemption amendment regarding businesses. Proposition 10 would create a process that temporarily lowers property taxes for homes destroyed by fire. Proposition 11 is a school exemption tax for elder adults and disabled homeowners. Proposition 12 will essentially allow the governor to appoint 7 judicial commissioners instead of 5. It also changes the age requirement to 35 years of age. Proposition 13 offers homeowner tax exemptions. Proposition 14 would fund $3 billion to the Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas. Proposition 15 would affirm parents as the primary decision maker for their children. Proposition 16 will clarify that you must be a United States citizen to vote in Texas. Finally, Proposition 17 would exempt property tax on owners living in the counties surrounding the border. All right, so that's the inside scoop of the elections happening in Texas, but let's not forget there are important elections happening across the world. In New York, we've actually got a mayor race with Mamdani and Cuomo. We also have the gubernatorial race, which is a fancy word for the race for governor. It's taking place in Virginia and New Jersey. In New Jersey, we currently have received a notice that there have been several bomb threats at the polling centers, which is delaying voting. It was a long one today, but that is all I have for y'all. Make sure to go vote before 7 p.m. today. That is when it closes. I am Majay Moore with NTTV Noon News. Back to the desk.
Today marks day 35 of the federal government shutdown, officially tying the record for the longest ever shutdown in United States history. The Senate government and neither side expects substantial progress on this election day, with key races from New Jersey to California. The impasses for both parties, healthcare funding. Sources tell CNN that Democrats are considering whether to accept a standalone vote to extend Affordable Care Act subsidies that are expiring. But there's no guarantee it would pass the Senate, so talks continue.
Former Republican Vice President Dick Cheney, who served alongside President George W. Bush, has died at the age of 84. According to the statement from his family, Cheney passed away Monday night while surrounded by his family members. They say he died due to complications of pneumonia, along with cardiac and vascular disease. Cheney was in the White House with Bush for 2 terms between 2001 and 2006. In recent years, Cheney became a harsh critic of President Donald Trump, and he was largely ostracized from the GOP. He cast his final vote in a presidential election in 2024 for Democrat Kamala Harris. Cheney is survived by his wife Lynn, his daughters Liz and Mary Cheney, and 7 grandchildren. Former President George W. Bush shared his condolences and said Cheney was among the finest public servants of his generation.
It seems like we have some perfect weather coming up this week.
I'm looking forward to it. Samaj Bell is here to give us a first look. Samaj?
Yes, we have some pretty good weather today. Look at this, 71 degrees, feeling like 69. Now, however, we do have a bit of a wind coming in, about 23 degrees. It's going to be kind of windy today, all throughout today, and a little bit going into tomorrow. If we take a look at tonight's conditions, we can see that temperatures will be cooling down to a little bit of a 70 degrees and feeling like 68. Winds dying down to about 15 miles per hour. And if we take a look at tomorrow's forecast, we can see that's going to be 76, feeling like 75 with 10-mile-per-hour winds. And coming up, I also have your 7-day forecast and a possible supermoon coming in tomorrow. More on that coming up.
Thanks, Samaj. A teacher at Moore Middle School in Salina ISD was just arrested after police said she was drunk on campus. This isn't the first Salina teacher to face criminal charges recently, the first being arrested last month for allegedly recording students in the changing room. There's limited information on these charges, and Salina ISD has not yet made a statement.
Crum ISD's own Bobcat Marching Band just made district history, heading to their first ever state championship. The district superintendent, Jason Cochran, said the band program wouldn't have gained the traction it did without the dedication of the teachers and hardworking students. And speaking of band state championship, an Austin High School's band trailer was struck by a train just hours before the competition. Police say there were no injuries, but Vandergrift students were left without their instruments. Leander ISD's Christina Hardy said other high school band communities have offered to help lend instruments. It is truly humbling to see this community of high school musicians pull together to support one another. Vandergrift Band went on to win first place at the Austin Regional Competition.
A Denton couple was followed home from the bank Saturday, and their car was broken into near South Loop 288. Saturday afternoon, police officers responded to a call for a jugging vehicle burglary. Camera surveillance footage from a neighbor shows a car going up and down the street before somebody gets out. The front passenger's window was shattered, and around $300 cash was missing from the vehicle. The person could not be identified from the footage, and the burglary is still under investigation.
A manhunt is underway in rural Texas after an officer-involved shooting on Sunday. Police say 64-year-old Bobby Dennis shot the unnamed officer after an encounter in Jacksonville. He is still at large and considered armed and dangerous. Texas Governor Greg Abbott announced a $10,000 reward for information in the case. The officer is in stable condition after undergoing emergency surgery in Tyler. A police dog was also injured and is in stable condition at an emergency vet.
A penny for your thoughts? Not likely. The penny is going out of style.
Well, you know the saying, what goes bump in the night?
Yeah?
Well, tonight it's what goes bang in the night. Stay with us.
Sweeping college campuses across America.
What am I supposed to do?
It's quite simple. The We Mean Green Fund has partnered with the UNT Police Department to offer free bike locks to any UNT student with a bike. Just show up with your bike in tow and ask.
Now I'll never lose my bike ever again.
Enough worrying. Get your bike lock today.
Hey.
What's up?
Nothing much. I'm really bored. I feel like there's nothing to do.
Are you kidding? The MRTS picture show is happening.
The MRTS what?
Come with me.
Okay.
It's a series of free film screenings right here on campus. And there's free popcorn.
Nice. Thank you.
It's the end of an era. The U.S. Mint isn't producing pennies anymore, and now some businesses are starting to feel the impact. Jake Tester has the details.
I mean, we still have pennies in the register, which I like giving back, you know.
The decision to stop penny production lies with the fact that it costs almost 4 cents to make just 1 penny. Senior Vice President for Retail Deposit Officer with First Community Bank, Brian Emerson, said they have not been able to order pennies from the Federal Reserve, but it hasn't made a complete stop from them using pennies.
We do have customers that still bring in their pennies, and we do our best to keep those in circulation by re-rolling those and giving them out to customers where we can.
Emerson said once they knew they were not going to be able to get any more pennies, they started preparing.
We knew that at that point we needed to start kind of keeping our own supply to be able to handle people that came by for one-time check cashing transactions on that side of it. So really it hasn't affected our day-to-day that much, just the inability to necessarily give out change orders to our commercial customers.
And while it hasn't affected the bank side as much, Emerson said there is one side that will be seeing the effects more than others: retail.
Where those people that are operating gas stations, operating restaurants, things of that nature, that no longer will you be able to pay to the nearest cent, they're going to end up having to round up or round down those totals to the nearest nickel in that points.
And one store that has already made that change, the Harps in Brooklyn.
If it's 2 cents, then it'll be down, and if it's 3, then it'll round up. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just getting phased out, you know. Costs more to make them than they're worth.
As time goes on, more businesses will likely have to start rounding. Expect to see that in places where many customers still use cash, like convenience stores.
Denny's makes a major change that it hopes will go sunny side up. The 72-year-old diner chain's board approved a deal for a sale to go Tri-Artisan Capital Advisors. That group of investors plans to take Denny's private. If shareholders approve that decision, Denny's will then be taken off the NASDAQ, where it had been for nearly 60 years. Shares rocketed upward 50% in Tuesday's pre-market trading following the announcement. Denny's has struggled since the pandemic and lost 180 of its locations over the past 2 years.
I don't know about you, Taylor, but I could really go for some Denny's right now.
You know what else I could go for? Some more cool temperatures. Our weather anchor, Samaj Bell, is here with us to give us a rundown on what's going on this week in the world of weather. Samaj?
Yes, we do have some cooler weather, but before we get to that, Hurricane Melissa has passed over Jamaica, but the people there now must cope with the aftermath. CNN's David Culver has more on the story.
We are catching some water because that's the only way we can get water. We all damaged here in Jamaica, real bad.
Across much of western Jamaica, the storm has passed, but you feel it everywhere. Survival mode has kicked in.
In here in Belmont, we are very distressed and we really need some help because you have persons who are very homeless and we don't really have any food supplies.
This is where you live here?
Now they're coming to terms with what's left, and for many here, it's not much.
This was your bed?
Yeah. I'm in my bed. Look at bed mashed up.
It's all mashed up, you're right. You're right.
There's one here. This is one of our neighbor house also. her house destroyed also. Everybody house in this community is very destroyed. We don't see nobody. And that I keep on wondering. We have suffered here and nobody comes to assist. You know how we even get some things like these? It's persons who are going around in vehicle and giving out a little portion of tokens.
As one resident pointed out, even if a house is still standing because of concrete, most likely the windows were shattered and water got in, sand got in, furniture, clothes, all their belongings destroyed. I mean, it just continues, it's endless. I mean, you look up there and it just goes all the way up.
All right, let's take a look at the full weather. Now, we have pretty lovely weather coming in here tonight, or today. If we take a look, it's going to be 70, low 70s. It is absolutely amazing, beautiful weather. Look at this, you guys. 70s all around, 71 in Denton, 72 in McKinney, 72 in Dallas, 73 over in Bowie, and 75 over in Graham. Now, if we also take a look at the regional map, look at that, 77 in Amarillo, 71 in Oklahoma City, 74 in Houston, 72 over in Shreveport, and 77 over in El Paso. However, we are going to get a slight warm-up coming in this week. We got a warm front coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, but it won't be sticking around for much long. As you can see, we will be going into the 80s. Yes, the 80s has sadly come back. It comes back like luggage. I don't know why, but it is indeed back. But not to worry, we will be diving down into the high 60s and 50s. Look at Monday. Look at that low for Monday. It's going to be the 30s, folks. So grab a jacket for that day. And before I forget, if you look up at the sky tomorrow morning around 8 a.m., you'll notice that we will be having a supermoon, meaning the moon is low, big, and bright. And not to worry, if you miss this one, there'll be another one on December 4th. Back to you at the desk.
Astronomers might have found the first stars that were formed after the Big Bang. For years, astronomers have been hunting for the first generation of stars, and now they may have been found. Ari Visbau from the University of Toledo, Ohio, and colleagues believe they may have seen 3 of these stars in a distant galaxy. Uncertainty remains, and astronomers are working hard for more information.
Speaking of stars, I've heard a big bang for one Hollywood star.
And find out who Kim Kardashian's toxic friend is. Stay with us.
Craving something fresh, flavorful, and made just for you? Look no further than Avesta, your go-to destination for delicious, full-service dining experience. Dive into our customizable omelets, expertly crafted by our talented cook Jonathan, who guarantees every bite is perfection. All our dishes are handmade, prepared with only the freshest ingredients. Explore our assembly line where you can choose from any of our globally inspired dishes or customize your plate. It's that easy. And let's not forget dessert. Indulge your sweet tooth with treats from Clark Bakery. With convenient payment methods including card or flex, it's the perfect dining spot for any occasion. Quench your thirst with our wide selection of drinks. Just hand your drinking card to our friendly waiter and they'll bring your beverage of choice right to your table. When you're done savoring every last bite, our attentive staff will whisk away your tray. Enjoy the peaceful ambiance as you dine in, or use our takeout option for a meal on the go. Avesta.
All right, look up here. 1, 2, 3. Mom, Dad, I got it.
You're right, Mom. I have.
A group of teachers in suburban Tucson, Arizona are under fire for their Halloween costumes. They wore t-shirts that some say carried an ominous message. Kayla Butler has the story.
The bloody shirts shown in this photo have sparked controversy across the nation. We shouldn't have worn them and we shouldn't have posted it in retrospect. And out of deep sympathy and understanding for all people who are victims of violence, including Charlie Kirk and his family.
A group of Cienega High School math teachers wore the shirt to school on Halloween, leading to many accusing them of making light of Charlie Kirk's assassination.
With so much violence in our society and so much violence at the heart of most of the issues in this country, it seems a little tone deaf to me.
But Vail School District says that was not the teacher's intent and that those shirts have been worn before. As shown in this photo from October 31st, 2024, some of those same teachers are wearing the same costume.
Those teachers wore those t-shirts throughout the day, both this year and last year, and there wasn't one question or concern raised by a student or a parent about that. It wasn't until the photo was found online and spread nationally that it gained this kind of attention.
Kathleen Wynn, the chairman for the Pima County Republican Party, says regardless of intention, the costume is not appropriate for the classroom.
Whether it's not political at all, you have a bunch of teachers in bloody shirts where we are in high school, so I think high school kids are still impressionable.
John Caruth, the superintendent for Vail School District, says the teachers involved have received death threats from people across the country to the point where they fear for their safety, something he says could have been prevented.
Rushing to conclusions, being quick to anger and lob that anger at people who you don't know who their intent is, and you don't know who their values are, that also has consequences and causes harm.
The math teachers say the problem mentioned on the shirt was a reference to math problems.
Kim Kardashian says she and ChatGPT are toxic friends. During an interview with her All's Fair co-star, Tiana Taylor, Kardashian revealed she used the AI chatbot to study for the California bar exam, and she blames it for failing. Kardashian said she will get mad and yell at it. All's Fair is a new drama series on Hulu that follows a divorce law firm. The attorneys at the firm are played by Kim Kardashian, Naomi Watts, Glenn Close, and Niecy Nash Betts.
People's Magazine has officially named actor Jonathan Bailey as the sexiest man alive. The Wicked and Bridgerton star is the first publicly out gay person to receive the award. Bailey told Jimmy Fallon it's the honor of a lifetime. This is the 40th edition of People's Sexiest Man Alive. The first honor was given to Mel Gibson back in 1985.
It's been a big weekend in the world of sports.
From football to baseball, Shelby Wright has more on what went down.
Thanks, guys. Mean Green football is still on the up and up. UNT basketball opened up their season, and the Cowboys had their first home loss. I'll have more for you after the break.
Looking to open a free checking or savings account but don't know where to start? Check out DATQ Credit Union right here on campus. Get your Mean Green debit card instantly or apply for a DATQ Visa credit card today. Your school, your card. Plus, make deposits at their 24/7 ATM, checks or cash whenever you need it. Make sure to sign up for DATQ's online banking platform and mobile app for easy access anytime, anywhere. Visit them at www.datq.org to learn more. DATQ, the official financial institution of UNT Athletics.
Dallas Cowboys took another loss this week to the Arizona Cardinals. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott threw for over 200 yards and 1 touchdown, but costly turnovers and defensive mistakes led to the 27-17 loss, their 5th of the season. Dallas will now head into the bye week. The Mean Green women and men's basketball teams kicked off their season opener in the Super Pit. The women's team started off playing against Oklahoma Christian and beat them 106-36. After that, UNT men's head coach Daniel Robinson made his coaching debut against New Mexico Highlands, beating them with a score of 88-54. After the Mean Greens win against Navy, they still entered this week unranked with only 3 games left. They still have a chance, but they'll have to win all 3 to solidify a spot in the conference title game. If they win the conference title, then they could be looking at a spot in the college football playoffs. The Mean Green will face opponents like UAB, Rice, and will finish their season on Black Friday against Temple at DATQ Stadium. Thank you.
Thanks for watching NTTV News at Noon.
Join us again tonight at 6 and tomorrow at noon here on North Texas Television.